Welcome to episode 3 of Opto's Welcome Home. We finally have made it inside the house. Now let's see what Opto products we can find. So this is episode 3 of your Welcome Home, Optoelectronics. We first saw the front door where there were video cameras and security cameras using infrared emitters and LEDs for indicator lights. We came through the garage where we saw infrared emitters and IR receivers being used as a garage door safety switch. And now we're finally actually in the home. And here we are in front of my media center. It's a Sony Bravia, probably 15 years old, a Roku box, a Comcast Xfinity box, and a Toshiba DVD player. Now each one of these has a corresponding remote control. This is the Sony Bravia remote control. And on it, or in it, you can see an infrared emitter. The infrared emitter sends the remote control signal to a corresponding IR receiver, whether it's in the TV or the Roku box or the Comcast Xfinity box. Right? And the DVD player similarly has an infrared emitter that sends a signal over to the receiver in the DVD player. When you get a little bit more upscale, like the Roku, they put a piece of plastic to make it cosmetically more appealing, but behind that piece of plastic is an infrared emitter. Similarly with the Comcast remote control, piece of plastic, transparent to infrared signals, allows the signal to go from the remote to the TV. It is in your home the most common place that you're going to come across infrared or optoelectronic components. If you watch TV, you're using an opto product, an infrared emitter, IR receiver. If you watch a DVD, using an infrared emitter and an IR receiver. Right? And similarly, there's also indicator lights on the Xbox anyways, showing whether the device is powered up or not. So a number of optoelectronic components. You don't really think about it because you aren't really caring too much about what's inside. All you're caring about is what's actually being displayed. But when we watch TV, we're interested in the optoelectronic components as well as what's on TV. Now, let's take a little closer look at the components on the inside of these boxes. So IR receivers are found in set-top boxes, DVD players, TVs, and streaming media devices. They can be difficult to locate, but they're there and they're on the front panel so that when you aim your remote control unit, the receiver is going to receive the signal. On TVs, the IR receiver is typically mounted to what we would call a daughter board because it's generally located down in a corner of the device behind a window that's infrared transmissive. Streaming media devices, again, it'll be behind what looks like a black window. You won't be able to see the IR receiver. The streaming media devices are very small and they prefer all surface mount components. And so you'll typically see what's called the Heimdall package. It's particularly popular, and that's what's shown in these images. So where there is an IR receiver, we need a remote control unit to send a signal to that IR receiver. They have an infrared emitter, which peaks at 940 nanometers, and it'll be either through hole or surface mount devices. And depending on the quality of the remote control unit, you might be able to see the infrared emitter. For example, the second and fourth devices here in the picture, you can actually see this 5mm 940 nanometer emitter, and they've put it in the outside of the package. Higher quality devices generally try and hide the infrared emitter, and they'll typically go again with a surface mount device like that shown here. And what you see there is my Xfinity and my Roku box remote control units. And again, you can see that there's a black plastic cover on the front, transmissive to infrared, and the IR emitter is located behind those. So this concludes episode 3 of the Opto's Welcome Home series. Again, if you want to look at any of our Opto products, you can go to vishay.com/opto, and you'll be presented with a list of IR receivers, infrared emitters, optical sensors with both analog or digital output, photodetectors, optocouplers, solid-state relays, visible and UV LEDs, and ERTA transceivers. Thank you for your time, and let's see what happens in episode 4.